Alright, there you see me just swore fealty, became part of the kingdom of the Russ. Seems like a good move, right? Oh, what's this message? Revoke title. Peace be with you. We have decided to immediately revoke your title as Chiefdom of Novgorod. Failure to hand it over peacefully will lead to war. I think what I've just learned is that swearing fealty, bad idea. I thought that by swearing fealty I would save this guy the trouble of having to try to incorporate me into his realm. But I see now it just made it easier for him to make me weaker. So I should not have done that. I'm going to decline, but I think this could be rough. So I can call all my vassals into the war. It looks like they will accept. But I don't really think it's going to be enough, but I guess we'll see. So it's pretty much the whole kingdom of the Rus against this top portion up there that's labeled the Russian Revolt. That's me. I do have enough prestige to raise the tribal army. 2,500 man regiment. I think if I was smart, I would have done that right now. Got that 2,500 men and just tried to sweep every single one of them little armies that he's got over there away. If I recall, that is not what I did. So I raised my 3,100 men. I'm going to try to do what I can with them. Okay, so it looks like I did at least try to send him out to try to scoop up his little armies. The rise of Shi'ai. Alright. So he called in King Georgie of Georgia. Good. Another king. That should help my cause for sure. It's always good when you're fighting one king, or you're revolting against one king and he calls in another king to his aid. Doesn't really seem fair. So I have a feeling that this war is not going to go well for me. Although actually, since I actually played this game over a month ago, I know exactly what's going to happen. And I'm just trying to add a little bit of flavor. Looks like I got a little victory. I'm up to 1%. Looks like he got some bigger armies. He called in the King of Hungary now. So that'll be helpful. Hungary, I think, is that orange blip down there to the left of the screen. So it looks like a fairly sizable country itself. Once again, I don't feel that my little Russian revolt area here stands much of a chance. I'm not sure. That might be a new message. That must not be. I don't think I clicked it away. Never mind. Okay. Gonna raise my tribal army. I think it's my only shot. Not really sure if there was anything I could have done to win this war. Oh well, I guess we'll just keep soldiering on, see what happens. You never know, right? I could somehow beat the king of the Rus, the king of Hungary, and the king of Georgia. Yeah, easy, easy. Alright, so I've got about 5,000 men. Gotta get my armies assembled and just take this guy on. Okay, looks like there's a 3,000 man army from Hungary on the way. At least I think it's from Hungary. I don't really know what their logo looks like, to tell you the truth. Checking out Georgia. I don't see an army from Georgia. Oh. It's called, looks like he may have called in someone from the Byzantine Empire. Maybe I missed it, but I swore that's what it said. Alright, I got my 2 armies heading into the Russian kingdom. Oh, and here comes the Russian king's 9,754 troops. I'm not sure where they came from, but that is not what I wanted to see. So I have the game paused. I'm trying to figure out what in the world I should do. I think I decided to retreat as far as I could into my territory. Except unfortunately, one of my armies got caught. I recently found out that you can make your armies withdraw. If they get caught in a battle they can't win, you just have to select them and tell them to leave, and they'll apparently immediately leave the battle. I'm not sure if I was able to do that there. I might have. If thus, yeah, since we all die anyway, we'd be so hassled about life. I could say, I suppose you're right, but what about the employment? Or the enjoyment, sorry. Gluttonous. I could become gluttonous, or I could become chaste or temperate. I think I went with, I got the lustful trait for my son and heir. Oh, actually, this 3,000 man army way down there is actually mine. I didn't know that. Oh, that must be my army still returning from Italy. So I think had I maybe waited to swear a fealty until I actually got all the way back from Italy, then that might have been helpful. So I'll pick one of these. I think I went with Defender because I figured I'd be defending a bit soon. Or actually I went with Learn to Inspire. So we caught my men. It's not good. Big bump in war score there. So yeah, I'm not sure I could have fought him off had all my troops been home, but I think it would have been a little more interesting. And he caught me and my allies again with his 9,000 troops. Just not looking good. Another thing that I'm considering, now that I'm kind of watching this again, is maybe it would have been better off to leave my levies at their garrisons, and maybe it just would have been that much harder for this guy to take over. So it looked like he was getting having trouble with supply. He won't have, and it would have been tougher for him to siege my first holding if all my levies were at home. I'm sure he still could have managed, but maybe there's a chance he would have run out of money during this war, and then you never know. Maybe things could have gone my way. The King of Hungary and the King of Georgia decide they're not going to show up. Maybe I can outlast him. Oh well. I think these things happen. So I think I did just send a bunch of my troops home. Although I'm not sure if actually when I was playing a month ago, if I really realized that they would help out against being sieged if they were at home. So I may actually re-raise them and go on some crazy suicide mission. But I don't recall. It looks like he's already successfully sieged down one of my counties completely. He's now moving on to the next one. He's already got 82% war score, which, if you watch my last episode where I was sieging this county in Italy and it took me like forever, this is actually pretty amazing on his part. Although I think it's partially my fault for raising men and letting him beat them up. It would have probably been better to disband my army before he defeated them in battle, and then he would have had to slowly siege my entire place, probably. And what I'm doing now is probably about the worst thing that I can come up with, which is raise all my remaining men, send them together, and let him attack me, is probably what the result of this is going to be. Oh, now I'm thinking about hiring some troops to come to my aid. I guess it's a sensible idea. Looking over mercenaries. They're pretty expensive, $175, $20 a month. I do have plenty of money right now, considering. So I hired this $240 band. I got my troops up pretty good, but not nearly enough, and for some reason I let those 800 men attack him. No idea. So this isn't good. So I'm still like way outnumbered, even with spending all this money. And we're in big trouble here. He's already at 97% anyways. Yeah. Oh, and here comes the King of Georgia, just when things are going alright. Yeah, no, I have hardly no morale. Yeah, that was bad. Looks like my marshal potentially died in that battle. Or maybe he was arrested. I'm gonna surrender. And now I'm in jail.